For those who master the skill, congratulations, you will never ever have to worry about money. For those who don't, I've got bad news for you. You will chase money until the end of your time. So people have very different views on sales. That's probably why they will never understand how important the skill of selling is. You know the myth about salespeople. They're swindlers, liars, greedy, selfish, careless. That's the kind of reputation that salespeople had in the beginning until today. And I don't even blame people for thinking that way after what history have shown us how salespeople have been treated clients and customers. But not all salespeople are villain and bad guys. That's like saying every single person on this planet is a bad human being or a bad person, which is not true. There are good guys out there. And one of the reasons why salespeople have got a bad reputation from the beginning is because of one man by the name of Clark Stanley. So let me tell you a little bit about Clark Stanley. Now, back in the 1800s, he fooled the public by poisoning rattlesnake oil as a healing medicine from Chinese snake oil. Sounds crazy, no? Now, he said that this oil can heal anything and anybody. With other traveling salesmen and doctors, Stanley began to aggressively push these false remedies across the whole United States until he was exposed, of course. And he was fined in 1917. And that was the beginning of why salesmen carried a bad name. Cheers, Stanley. But all of that changed in the 1900s. That's when Thomas J. Watson Sr., who served as the chairman and CEO for IBM, which is the International Business Machine, he made a bid to redeem the integrity of the sales industry in the eyes of the public. Thank you, Sir Watson. With his core concept, Thomas made a significant contribution to the sales industry in multiple ways. By introducing the idea of motivating sales force by throwing in contests, offering sales commissions, recruiting college graduates. Thanks to IBM, the sales profession started to be considered as a respectable career. That's where the formal sales training started. So at the end of the day, we are all salespeople. It's just that many of us have yet to discover it. It doesn't matter where you are or who you are, we are all selling every single day. And I'm gonna prove it. Let me show you. So let's roll back the time and I'm gonna show you your first pitch. The first time you pitched anyone was your parents, for you to be able to sleep over at your best friend, and you were just giving points to your parents, selling points to your parents to give them more security and trust you more on that friend that you're going to sleep over. And you said, "Hey mom, can I sleep over at David's house?" "Who's David?" did your mom say. And you said, "Oh, David, he goes to my school. His mom is a teacher or a headmaster, and his father is a police officer, and he lives in this nice neighborhood." You did every single thing you could to sell this pitch to your parents so that they can accept you to have that sleepover. We all have done it. And that's probably one of our first pitch that we've ever done in our life. See, you're a salesperson. You started selling when you were, as soon as you were able to speak to your parents and you got your first friends. We will never forget that sleepover pitch. That's your first pitch in life. Well done. And as you've been growing up, there's been multiple things you've been pitching to your friends, family, businesses, and so on. So let me just give you some example. You remember when you were younger, convincing your friends to become friends with you, convincing your first crush, convincing your partner today, getting ahead in the queue, airport, shopping, traffic, pitching for your first job, leaving work early, pitching for holiday, salary raise, getting the kids to eat or go to bed, getting things your way with your spouse. So as you see, I've just given you a small percentage of all of the pitches you have done since you were born. So I think all of us can agree that selling is a way to survive. As long as you bring in value, you have nothing to worry about. But as soon as you stop bringing in value, you'll be replaced. So make sure whatever you do, you always bring in value to where you are and to the people in front of you, so that you will never have to be worried about being replaced. One of my mottos in life is to add value to other people's life and businesses. And that's something that you should do too. The biggest problem here is that there's very few people who train their sales skills. There's even employers that don't even provide sales skills to their employees. It's even mind-blowing how these big sales organizations that focus mainly on selling their products and service to the public don't provide sales training to the people that work for the company. And at the same time, they expect to increase their sales and revenue on a yearly basis. It sounds a little bit crazy to me. Doesn't make sense. So my question to you is, how can you get better if you don't implement training to your profession? You don't see professional athletes just attending their fight, games, or match and stop practicing? They've been practicing from the get-go. They've been practicing even before they became professional athletes. And even when they become professional athletes, they continue training and even might train even harder because they've achieved their goal. They never stop training and they do it every single day. So my question to you is, how much do you practice your profession? Honestly, it doesn't matter what profession you're in. Training is a must. So here's a scenario. Would you trust a doctor to perform an open heart surgery, and just when you lie down on the bed, he tells you, hey, great to have you here. I'm going to do the open heart surgery, but I haven't practiced any of the new technology or skills or knowledge when it comes to open heart surgery since the 1980s. And today is 2024. Wouldn't you be worried? And that he's only relying on the knowledge and skills and the courses that he's taken 1980, and today is 2024. The technology have changed so much from then, and it would be crazy to never ever have kept on practicing from the 1980s to the 2020s, correct? Or am I crazy? At the end of the day, you turn up to work every single day to make more money, correct? Wouldn't it make sense if you put yourself in a position so that you can make as much money as you can by sharpen your sales skills so that you can get ahead of your competitors? The funny thing is, I've got the answer to why you don't do it. And the reason why you don't do it is because, number one, you're lazy and you're full of excuses. That's why. I meet people on a daily basis telling me that they don't have time to read books, go to seminars, or take courses. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So what I do in this situation is that I will ask the person that I'm speaking to show me the data on how many hours they spend on social media and the streaming platforms such as Netflix, for example. It's scary to say that many of the people that I've actually seen, that they spend 4 hours on social media and 4 hours on the streaming platforms. That's 8 hours a day. That's 2,920 hours a year. That's 121 days a year. That's an astonish. That's 4 months spent wasted time a year straight. That's how much you waste your time. You can continue doing the math because it gets scarier for every single 5, 10, 15, 20 years if you keep these bad behaviors. So what I've actually done myself is that I have social media, I have Instagram, I have TikToks, I have multiple Instagram accounts. But what I do is that I haven't got any of those applications. I have my team that manage all my social medias, all the YouTube channels, and so on. Why have I done that? Because I know personally that my time is better spent elsewhere, where I can add more value and making your dream come true. So going back to sales, what happens if you don't train your sales skills? This is what would happen. You will get fired, you become broke, you won't be able to pay your bills, and the company dies if you're a company owner, and the economy dies. Imagine this. Imagine you're living in a world where no one is selling. There's no sales anywhere. No one is selling. There won't be any production. There won't be any distribution. There won't be any shipping. There won't be any storage. Because there's none of the above, you won't get anything that you want or need. Crazy, huh? So let me tell you a little bit about my sales story. I come from an athletic background. So I played football, which you call soccer in America, but we're in Europe. So I played football and signed my first contract when I was 14 years old. So in my head, I'm going to become the new Kylian Mbappe, Messi, Ronaldo, whoever you want to use as a professional icon. But that didn't happen. Unfortunately, which happened to a lot of people out there and a lot of athletes out there, is that injury comes in. I had ligaments going left, right, and centers on my knees with operations. Unfortunately, I broke my cheekbone during a game when I was going to sign a new contract in England, and I lost it all. So there I am in my bed, soaking of tears, not knowing what I'm going to do with my life, and started to reading books. And the first book I actually read was a book by Robin Sharma called The Monk That Sold His Ferrari. And the second book that I read, which we're going to go into now, was The Secret. And in one of those chapters, there was something that captured my attention in a way that I've never, ever experienced before. And there is stated, what would you do if you was guaranteed to succeed? This is one of the main questions I ask them when I meet them for the first time, because there's a lot of people that have never had this question in front of them. So back to me. I stated that I wanted to wear a nice suit, be in a nice building, and work with investment, even though I didn't have any investment background. Next thing you know, I ended up in one of the most interesting buildings called the Gherkin, big glass building shaped as an egg in London. And I became an investment broker. In that way, because